30 seconds. We're getting ready to get started. Are you hearing me okay? If so, drop a comment. All little buttons like they're working. Oh, good morning, good morning, good morning, you wonderfully talented, smart, intelligent viewers of mine, my friends, my family. Heck, I even think my mom tunes in sometimes. No idea why. My mom knows everything about us. Whoops, I got more slides to present before you can see my face. But if you are watching, hey, there's my buddy Adam. Tune in the comments. Oh my goodness. Well, that means I have to cover Adam's topic first. So let's get this going. Okay. Sorry for a little bit of the scene mess up there. I got one of the many things on my agenda is I've been upgrading my equipment, and I used to have the old Stream Deck with the 8x4 set of buttons, and I had like my entire show laid out perfectly. It's button here, go with camera A, go with camera B, cut to graphics, fade to black. I had all that set up and all these cool new buttons. And that was on the list of things to work on today. After I got the new one, because I got the new Stream Deck. I think it's a Stream Deck Plus with only 4 buttons, but some knobs and stuff. And number one, not 4 buttons, 8 buttons. It's going to take me. A little bit to get used to that, but I forgot to program it. So if it takes me a while to switch a scene or something like that, it's because I've got like 1,000 windows open. I got to figure out which one, and then today's homework is going to be make sure I get a Ecamm version of my buttons all set up. But yeah, hey, if you were a regular watcher of the show, you notice I've been absent for a little while. That is a huge, huge failure on my part, and I feel bad about it. And I missed it. I missed doing this. I miss communicating with people live and sharing my thoughts and getting feedback. I function very well when I can present to people, when I can teach a topic, and I get live feedback. That's why I love public speaking so much. More training, I think, than public speaking is what I really like, but just the idea of talking to people and getting really good feedback. We've got the coffee cup going. Motivation and coffee. I love these people. I may seek out to them and see if they can sponsor me at some point in time. I've got like 3 or 4 of their cups. I want the entire collection. If they have t-shirts, I want that. If they make their own version of gummies, I would want that. I love the coffee and motivation cups right there. Okay, what's been going on with Patrick? What's been going on this week? Let's talk recent things. We'll talk some business things. We'll talk some marketing things, and then we'll expand into what's been going on the past few weeks. Brother man's going to be talking about Costa Rica. You know it is. I am one of those converts. I am one of those guys who got embedded in the Costa Rican cult for a week and came back with different hair, different clothes. Put a V to this, put a V to that. Put it wherever you want it kind of thing. I am one of those guys. I'm going to admit it. I'm one of those guys who went there afraid of foreign travel a little bit. And, it took me maybe 12 to 24 hours before I was like, oh, okay. I like the way these people run their lives. I like this country. I like what I'm doing. So, I'm going to be going on for about that a little bit. But I do have a whole series. As always, I have a whole agenda here for you. So if you've watched the show before, one of the things I want is I want your feedback. I want to know how you're doing. I know that my buddy Carrie's watching. I've already given her some feedback on some business stuff today. But if you have anything personal or business that's going on in your life that you just want some outside counsel on, and you're not afraid of sharing it with me in the comments, then do that. If you don't want me to use your name, please let me know. Put it in the Facebook DM comments. You can text us. You can text me at that number on the screen, 405-217-4752, and I will only have your number. I won't have it, but I'm always up for giving, spontaneous coaching, spontaneous business advice. I'm not an expert at everything, but there are some things I'm good at, and I will answer the questions for the things I'm good at because I love sharing that information. So let me know how you're doing in the comments. Let me know how your week is going. What's a win you had this week? That's what I definitely want to see. This week, I've been on my game when it came to exercise, when it came to fitness, when it came to lifting weights. I've got this new exercise routine where I do a lot of weight in a quick circuit, and I can get through it in like 20 to 30 minutes. And I'm just like 4 or 5 exercises, and I'm just hitting every single body part, keeping the heart rate above 150. And I am absolutely spent when I'm done. And I did a really good workout on Monday. I did a really good workout on Wednesday. And today I'm ramping up for another one. Something that has really helped my energy at the gym is ingesting a lot more water than I was before. So I've got my genuine high level cup here, and this is probably the first of 3 of these. I used to, if you've seen me talk in the past, I have like one of those big giant jugs that has like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., 11 a.m., things like that, and I try to take a break every hour and go up and drink that and go do everything else before I come back to the office. And I'm finding I'm getting a lot more water. Number 1 with this, number 2 with a straw, and number 3 just keeping it near me. I'll do that every couple of minutes, and I end up getting like 3 of those, which is I think just over a gallon of water in my stomach, and it's just amazing. I am always amazed how much water energizes me versus coffee, versus gummies, versus alcohol. I versus caffeine drinks like a Red Bull. When I'm down, if I'm having a low energy moment or a low energy segment of my day, water is what's going to really fix it for me. I mean, I love coffee. I love coffee as much as the next gal. But as I said before, I'm not sure I get too many caffeine effects or too many caffeine benefits from coffee anymore. It's more of an emotional kind of warm thing. The same thing I get from tea. If I drink warm tea, it just feels good. It feels warm emotionally. So the water, everything that's helping, I can feel I'm getting stronger, not dropping weight as fast as I was before. But, I'm just on the right path. I know if I keep doing the right steps, the right boring steps, going to the gym is boring. Lifting weights is boring. It can be mind-numbing boring. For goodness gracious, goodness sake, that's why I have to have music on, like really good 80s and 90s rap music when I work out. Oh, Jamie, man, good to see you. I hope the poetry and hope the writing is going well for you, Jamie. It's good to see you. So important to hydrate. You know what? We always got to get Jamie on screen here. So important to hydrate. And I too can tell when I haven't been working out on a regular basis. Yeah. I mean, it affects my mood. It affects my physicality. It affects all things like that. So good for us for staying in that groove there. And as always, congratulations. Ooh, Adam, my man, first week in the new office. So you took the job. You took the job. Very, very nice. Congratulations. If I'm not mistaken, you got that job offer either when we were by the pool or we were hanging out in Costa Rica, something like that. Something like that. And of course, Carrie's killing it. A few new clients this week. I would love to say that. I am going to say that. I am on the path to say that. But Carrie, man, if you are in the high level world and you ever need any kind of virtual support or an agency support team, please look up TAF Systems. You can just become one of her clients. You can become one of these new clients she's getting every single week. So definitely look her up if you want to improve your high level support area. Let me see. Now I got to get rid of that. A few new clients this week. How do I close that? Yeah, I'm all verklempt without having my Stream Deck buttons. Um, uh, Getting up to get that water feels good. Yes, that's something else. As a matter of fact, thank you, Adam. I have to set my hourly reminder. Every hour, I like to get up, hydrate, take care of any bodily functions, eat something, and the hardest part is remembering to set my hour-long timer. So thank you, Adam. We have 59 minutes and 48 seconds to go before the first break post live stream here. Okay, let me see what else has been going on. Talked about fitness, talked about water. I got to spend yesterday with, I volunteer in elementary school. Been doing that for, goodness, 15 plus years. And a while back, I became a favorite of the kindergarten teacher, Mrs. Bozer. And at the beginning of every school year, she makes sure that Mr. Almond has the zoo trip on his calendar. It's right around my birthday. The birthday was April 11th. The zoo trip was April 17th. And that's important because when you take kids out of the elementary school, it tends to be a higher risk thing. And yeah, we want them to have fun or not, but just the idea of just taking kids to a zoo with probably 100 other kids, if not 1,000 other kids, is a scary proposition. So you can use all the adults that come your way, parents and otherwise. And also, it just helps with general logistics and wrangling kids. If you've seen kids at a zoo, they will go off every which direction. So we always make sure the zoo trip is on there, and they do a great job of planning it. So yesterday I got to go to the zoo for free. Helped, help with the buses, help loading and unloading, help make sure that people were fed, things like that. And it was warm. I got my steps in for sure. As a matter of fact, it's cool. I remembered like 5 or 10 minutes into the zoo to start my workout, start my walking outdoor workout. And so I've got like my path all over the zoo, and I can tell when the kids, when we were by the lions and tigers, and we had to just wander in that area for a while. So that was the highlight of my week so far. Is I have a lot of highlights to the week, but going to the zoo with kindergarten is always a fun thing. What else has been going on? I was never having any internet problems before, but I've been kind of waiting for AT&T fiber to come to my neck of the woods, if you will. And they started working on it about, a month ago, actually going down the street and laying all the pipe, if you will. And then eventually, they drop off the salespeople. Once they have all the infrastructure in place, they drop off those hardcore salespeople that just go door to door and canvas and make all kinds of sweet deals. They try to convert everybody. Well, the conversation with that salesperson, I did not go very well because he's just looking for low-hanging fruit. He's looking for people that don't know how the internet works, and they don't know what a good deal is. And that conversation actually ended kind of poorly. After I told the guy, no, 4 or 5 times, which he was doing his salesman job. At the end, if he had said, okay, sorry, I understand, and walked away, that's how most salespeople, the pest control people, the roofing people, that's how most of them work, right? No, this guy kept going at the end. And at the end, he's twisting the screws a little bit, saying, you know what, if I walk away, you're not going to save very much money. And no problem. But as he's literally walking away, the conversation was over. He's like, dude, have fun paying more money without me here. Bye. I was like, are you effing kidding me? Really? I don't think you work for AT&T. What company do you work for so I can talk to them? No, I didn't say that. That was my internal dialogue. Once I heard that BS, I was like, oh, well, you know what? That almost very much turned me off for AT&T. But I'm a nerd, and I knew I was going to have fiber in my house. So what I did, was it last week? It may have been the beginning of last week or the end of the week before. We actually had, when I was working from home that day, we had a Cox outage, okay? And if you work from home at all, if your internet's out, you've got like 5 or 10 minutes before you're bouncing off the walls and you've got to go someplace. So Cox went out. I'm not sure if I went to the office or I went to Starbucks. But when I was there, I was like, you know what? Let's see what kind of deals AT&T has. So I went to AT&T website, placed my order online. Went very well. Needless to say, I've got AT&T fiber now. We literally cut the Cox line. I've got a story about that. So this is just some quick information for those of you who are in the situation where you've only had one internet provider and you have a choice of getting AT&T fiber in here. I cannot emphasize how much you should get it. Okay, and here are the reasons why. For my Cox bill, I just got it yesterday. I'm paying $126 a month, and that is just for the copper to my house. That is no TV. That is no telephone. That is no bundling. That is nothing. $126 a month for just getting a copper wire to my house. Okay? I've always been used to the price, never been bothered me. I'm sure when I started, it was probably cheaper. It goes up $1 or $2 here, $1 or $2 there. I've had Cox for over a decade. AT&T fiber with the same download speed is $62 a month. There are some discounts in there for me being a veteran, for me having AT&T cellular, things like that. But half the price. And I've double checked and I've triple checked, and that's not like an introductory price or a 1-year price. That is my price going forward. So, okay, nothing else. The price is cut in half. That's kind of makes it a no-brainer. And then what are the other benefits? Oh, my upload speed now matches my download speed, which is really important for people like me who upload huge files, do online video editing, or do streaming. Your upload speed is very important when it comes to streaming. So I wasn't having any issues before, but I doubt going forward I will have any issues. So I had a list here in my head. That was number 2. Number 3 is once you have fiber to your house, you can actually upgrade the speed without laying entirely new fiber. I was digging into this, and I've got a brilliant friend, John Fisher, that told me this, and then my AT&T installer told me this. It's like I can run 2 gig down, 4 gig down, 5 gig down, I think, 5 gig down without laying new fiber, possibly even 10 gig down. So the fact that that fiber is in my house, that fiber is capable of a lot more than just 1,000 down, 1,000 up. So he even pointed out on the back of my cable modem, there's like a 5. There's like I'm on the 1. I think I'm on the 1 gig port. There's like either a 2 or a 5 gig port on there. So all AT&T has to do on their end is upgrade their hardware, and then on my end, I just have to move the fiber connection up. Okay. And lastly is I was doing some deep research on the technology of a copper wire versus the technology of fiber. And technology-wise, fiber is less susceptible to RF interference. The way it works is just it's able to just crank a lot more. I didn't realize how much happens in that little tiny thread of light. I mean, that little tiny thread of light is wrapped by a reflective material of some sort, and it's able to shoot that light with data in it, just amazing distances. But it's has anyone here ever seen the fiber, the actual fiber, once you strip off all the shielding? That thing is hard to see. It's very thin. I cut myself on it. I would show it to you. I had a piece of it here on my desk for a while and I got rid of it. But that fiber is thin. It's thinner than the copper cable that comes into my house. So needless to say, I am an AT&T convert, okay? If you have the chance, get it, save money. I'm not even going to talk about the bonuses. I'm getting a $150 gift card because I'm an AT&T customer. I'm getting a $150 gift card because I ordered online, and I have a new JBL Bluetooth speaker coming because I ordered online. So $60 a month, $300 in gift cards. Do some quick math. Basically, my 5 months of cable was paid. My 5 months of AT&T was paid for by AT&T. And later today, I'm going to go to Cox and cancel Cox. If there's a cancellation fee, AT&T will pay that for me also. So if I'm a fiber fan, all the way. Okay, let's talk about what you came to hear, right? Let me see. We'll skip AI. You know what? I had a whole section here where I want to talk about AI. We'll skip that. I really do want to talk about my trip to Costa Rica because I've made some videos on it, but I haven't had a chance to actually talk about it yet. So I want to walk you through it day by day. I'm sure later I will be making like a video for each day because I've had several people that want to know my feedback on it. I've got a friend who's a travel agent in Florida. She's been to every place I was in Costa Rica, and she wants my feedback on it so we can plan a joint trip sometime. So I'm going to walk you through day by day. And just so you know what this is a summary of a trip I made. I believe it was the week before last, like the 31st through the 4th or something like that. 30th or 31st through the 4th or 5th, whatever it is. I was lucky enough to go to Costa Rica for personal and business reasons. And I had just gotten a new passport. I had some friends like Carrie that were going. It was a really good a reason to network with people. And there was an actual business event there that I was invited to that, I paid to attend. And it just seemed like I like disrupting my own life. I like doing like wild and crazy adventurous type things. And this just seemed like a good way to dip my toe in for 2025. So what it was a travel Sunday through Monday, if you will. Okay. Is that right? Monday through Sunday. Okay. So Monday morning was a very typical plane ride for Patrick. I am very familiar with traveling long flights back and forth. I'm very familiar. I have my routine. I go to the airport. I park in the offsite parking. I have that routine. I really do have that routine down. So it was a very typical morning. It wasn't too early at all for me. And I had a hop through Dallas. I think I had like 45 minutes to get to my gate to go to Costa Rica. So a typical thing, Oklahoma City, I've got my parking people. My car was there. That whole flight was flawless. I think I had to show my passport in Oklahoma City or in Dallas for the international flight. I didn't want to check any luggage, so I packed 2 backpacks, my very large kind of tactical camo-looking backpack and a smaller one. Of course, my bigger one was packed with stuff, and the flight to Dallas was packed, so they made me check it. So it turns out, even though I didn't have to pay for it, I ended up, my larger bag ended up being a check bag, even though I didn't want it to do. Crystal Porter, hey there, goodness gracious, it's been a minute since I've seen you. We have to get on Zoom. We have to get on Zoom here pretty soon, Crystal. So the travel to Dallas was easy. Made my flight connection to Costa Rica. That was like a 3.5 hour flight. It didn't feel like I was going internationally, and that's one of the main reasons I think I like Costa Rica now. Is it doesn't feel like I'm going to someplace terribly exotic. It was about the length of a trip to San Francisco for me, or a length of a trip to, Portland or Seattle. I mean, it's 3 hours to fly from Oklahoma City to, the West Coast. So that's what it kind of felt like for me. We landed in a nice Costa Rican airport just out of the city, outside of the city of Liberia, I believe is where we landed. I went through their versions of custom. It was a very quick and easy thing. We learned, I think that's when I started learning the phrase Pura Vida. And then I went to outside, like all airports, there's a bunch of people with transportation there. There's a bunch of people with transportation there that, come in my cab, come in my cab, come in my cab. The first guy I ran into does big round trip taxi rides. So, take you to a vacation spot, wait 5 days and come get you back. He didn't want to work with me because I didn't want to book round trip like that. So he walked me out to a gentleman in what to me normally would be a questionable car. And I'm sure they're buddies and got some kind of referral fee. And I told him where I was going. Tonamindo, is that what it was? Tonamindo, Best Western. It was a typical Best Western chain, and that was like a 90 to 100-minute drive. So the one thing you have to kind of get used to is, you're used to a nice leathered, goodness gracious, what was I going to say? A nice, clean, like say U.S. taxi or U.S. town car or a bus or something like that. These are people driving their own personal cars, which don't on the surface look like they're in their best shape, but they get the job done. So I'm sitting in the back of this guy's car learning about Tamarindo. Thank you, Carrie. So I'm learning about Costa Rica. He speaks broken English. My Spanish is beyond broken. My Spanish is like a giant crevice of Spanish since I never took any formal lessons. I just know some words here and there. But I learned about food along the way. I learned about the roads. The roads were a little bit different. There's no shoulders in case you have to pull off and do something. There's lots of aggressive passing, risky passing, which I was doing some white. You know what? I sat in the front. I didn't sit in the back. I was doing some white knuckle holding, just getting used to the way they drive. It's not risky to them. To a domestic, a domestic housewife like me, it was risky. Okay. It was risky, but I had a great driver, got me to the Best Western. I was told that my plastic and my money would work there, and I was, going to live off of plastic and then, have my cash for emergencies. And he pulled up, and for some reason, my plastic would not work. We tried it several times. He was very nice about that. So I ended up dipping into my cash right away, and checked in. It felt the Best Western felt very much like a resort. Got a little bit of a walk past the pool and the bar to my room. Checked in. Air conditioning was going full blast. Great room. I love the Best Western in Tamarindo, and if you're looking for a place to stay, I would highly suggest it. It's not a high-end luxury hotel, and I don't care. I like a good hotel room, but I don't spend a lot of time in my hotel room. And so I'm perfectly okay if it's a very basic bed, a very basic shower, and just the bare essentials. I go there to sleep. I go there to work a little bit. But if I'm in a foreign country, I'm not going to be spending too much time in my hotel room. So the Best Western in Tamarindo, I think that actually happens right as you enter Tamarindo. It's a good location and it's a good price. I think I paid $90 before taxes. I think I was paying like $90 a night there. And so that was, I got there in the evening, connected with some friends. I did a little bit of exploring there, but it was generally kind of afternoon. I think it was basically afternoon. One thing I did notice right away, the oppressive heat. I don't think it was too often that in my 6 or 7 days there, I wasn't sweating. It's just the way you live in Costa Rica, and they're used to it. It took a little bit of while for Patrick to get used to it. I'm very glad I came with clothes that were mainly skin exposed clothes, or lots of shorts and open shirts, just things to air things out. Because I'm a freaking walking fire pit, anyways. It's like I've been in menopause for 10 years. I'm just a big giant blob of heat. If I was running around, naked in a group of people, I would run by you and say, Patrick, goodness gracious, is something on fire? Why are you so hot? So that's just the way I live. And so being in the heat in Costa Rica obviously did not help. But I guarantee I walked away with better skin and better pores. So first evening, second day, you know what? Let's talk through the second. Maybe let's go through a couple of days this time, because as I'm recalling my memories here, there's a lot more I want to talk about. So met up with some people the first evening, got into the pool. We just started getting very casually acquainted. This was a few days before the actual event, which started on Thursday. So several of us gathered at the Best Western. This is where the speakers stayed. The event planner, she popped in to say hi. So Best Western was kind of like the staging area for the real event in the real villa. So all of us were hanging out at the Best Western with the breakfast buffet, in the pool, at the bar. One of the main reasons I think I like that Best Western, and for those of you that are watching, please chime in if you were with me, is the fact that it was very much in the touristy area, but there was a lot to do around the Best Western within walking distance. I didn't realize how much there was until maybe Thursday when I went out really exploring. So I'm going to jump forward to no, I remember I've got a plan in my head. We Tuesday. I'm going to kind of skim over the rest of this. So Tuesday, we went out for a very long hike. If you haven't seen it, there's some video on my YouTube channel for it, and there will be more. I got a lot of great footage of that hike, but that was the hardest thing physically I've ever done in my life. And I don't think it was hard because it was there were some technically hard hiking, but number one, I wasn't allowed to wear proper shoes for the whole thing, not like good hiking shoes. I had to wear shower shoes because we were going to be in a lot of water. And by a lot of water, I don't mean just like stepping in it. I mean, the whole goal of this was to go to hit a couple of waterfalls, some nice, brisk, very chilly, cold waterfalls. And we were in the water, as in, I'm 6'2", and there were plenty of times there. Hey, Jamie, you have a good day too, man. Good to see you. And please have a great, great Easter with your family there. But there were times where I was in probably 7-8 feet of water. And so there's no option of carrying an iPhone with me or even like a waterproof, a DJI camera. I did have on a GoPro, a literal GoPro. I found one on Facebook Marketplace on a chest strap. So I got some really good footage out of that. But, everyone brought their phone. But if we were getting in every kind of water, it's like everyone give their phones to the tour guide. He's got a waterproof bag. He will cover that stuff up. So no phones, just the GoPro there. Long, hard, amazing hike. Connected with some people deeper. It wasn't a large group, so that was nice. Felt my life flash before my eyes when I got into a cross current I could not keep up with. And my tour guide, who was maybe all 125 pounds, had to help me get across there. So Patrick is a decent swimmer unless there's a strong current. And yeah, that wasn't fun. That scared me a little bit. I've been scared like that in a little while. Fortunately, the water was just kind of swept me back, I think, down to earlier in the hike, but it still was a little bit scary for me. And just the idea of being in the wild and being in water that Tamagringo, exactly right, Adam. But just the idea of being in an unfamiliar place, being in cold water, and not being able to feel the bottom, it's a little bit scary. It definitely is a little bit scary. But we got all the way to the end, and Adam and Carrie were there. Again, we just connected, and we all really got familiar with each other. It ends up being an accidental bonding experience is what it was, because we were all doing the same, life-altering, life-threatening kind of activities. Physically, it was exhausting, but I love a good exhausting hike. We got to the end. I did not have the strength to swim against the waterfall at the end to climb up. I think there was some like ladders or something behind the waterfall or rock formation where you could have climbed up and then jumped out. Did not have the strength for it. This was post life-altering experience, life flashing before my eyes experience, and Patrick was a little bit spent. Needless to say, Tuesday was a great day. It was the waterfalls we went to were an hour and a half, I think, away from the hotel. So it would have been nice to know that. I'm going to, that's some constructive criticism there. Make sure if you book tours and things like that, you get distances, or if you're putting on an event, make sure you tell people that, you're going to be on this bus for an hour and a half. That's probably one thing to our event coordinator who was really great about it that I wish I would have known. I did not know how long I was going to be on that bus to get to the waterfalls until I sat down on the bus. And if I had known, I probably would have rearranged my logistics differently, because the bus to take us to the waterfalls went by the airport. I would have just stayed at the airport hotel and gone to the waterfalls on Tuesday morning and then come to Tamarindo, or as they say, Adam pointed out in the comments, Tamagringo there, okay? Because that would have made, a much shorter commute. Either way, it worked out great. We got back to the Best Western all sweaty and messy and exhausted. Tuesday evening, I think, as usual, we all ended up cleaning up, going to the pool and sitting at the pool bar and just kind of nursing our wounds and recapping all the great stuff that we had. Wednesday, when I was in Costa Rica, I think most of us were just pretty exhausted. Some of us had to catch up on work, had Zoom calls, things like that. Wednesday was pretty much a don't do too much recovery kind of day. The group kind of stuck close to the hotel. Fortunately, my friends Carrie and Adam, they discovered some other restaurants down a little bit further in a grocery store, which was really handy. So I could buy electrolytes and snacks. Again, the Best Western is so close to like a grocery store and a pharmacy, and you walk outside and you turn your head 180 degrees, and you'll probably see 5 or 6 restaurants. Not to mention, you'll see the beach. So I cannot recommend the Best Western enough, location enough. I may, next time I go down a little bit further into Tamarindo to some other hotels a little bit more centralized. But again, that whole area right there, it let's face it, it's a tourist trap. It really is, and I'm okay with that. The one cool thing that I did like about Costa Rica is the fact they take U.S. dollars and they take U.S. credit cards. So I had no exchange issues from the colones, I believe is the actual currency there. I didn't even get to touch a colones until towards the end of the trip when somebody who lives there actually pulled one out and showed it to me. So you don't have to deal with Costa Rican currency at all if you don't want to. So Wednesday was primarily a relaxation day. I'm going to have to go through my notes and my video footage and see what we did on Wednesday besides just hanging out at the pool. I know we ended up going to the grocery store. But Wednesday was kind of a recovery day. Thursday was going to be half at the Best Western, kind of check out, and then get to our event location, which was not too terribly far away. And so I coordinated that. I coordinated logistics on that, and I'm gonna have to remember to do that more in the future. I reached out. I walked early in the morning. I walked down to the front desk. I believe Adam was just coming back from a jog. My new buddy Adam, and we talked to the front desk about this. Then with their broken English and me with my horrible Spanish, I said, we have to get 6 or 8 people from the Best Western to this villa here, and I was showing them the location, and they talked to who they talked to. And this is one of the things I almost really liked about it. It's like, Patrick, we'll talk to a friend. We'll coordinate the travel for you. No problem. Just make sure your people are here. So I think the pickup was about 2:00, something like that. And I started coordinating. I started talking to the hotel via WhatsApp, which made it much easier for all of us language-wise. So 2 p.m., our shuttle shows up. Everybody that was at the Best Western that was not a speaker hopped in that shuttle, took a nice air-conditioned ride to a villa. And the villa, let's face it, anybody who was there, it's hard to say that villa wasn't amazing. The location, the physical building, and the rooms, and the property, and the location was just amazing. I would like to find a way to go back to almost that exact location or one just like it. It was absolutely amazing. And I think this is where I'm going to leave off today because I do have some other things I want to cover. But it was a event that was comprised of a bunch of people that know high level really well. It was put on by a company called Freedom Automations. Caitlin and Vincente put on a pretty nice event in a pretty nice location. I mean, it's hard to beat Costa Rica when it comes to a location, if you will, for an event. Okay. Some of the nice things about the villa, and again, I'll cover this more in a future video, is number one, I had a villa all to myself. There was a Casa Almond sign on the front. My wife chose not to go with me. Hopefully she'll make it in a future trip. The location was kind of like in the middle of a resort area with a bunch of other villas, similar villas. Once we were there, we actually had transportation to the country club and to the beach and things like that. There were like 5 golf carts we had access to, which was really nice because every evening, every morning and every evening, everybody wants to go to the beach to see the sunset and sunrise. I know I do. So I've got, amazing footages of sunsets and sunrises. The actual event at the hotel, we had some great speakers. We had vendors from different high-level vendor companies that put on some really great things. Hey Levi is a very popular tool in the world of high level. And the reason that tool stands out in my head is because Ruhin and Kanal, the founders of that, were there with their kids. And I had lunch Yeah, I think I had lunch with them back at the Best Western, the two parents and the kids, and then we ended up hanging out a lot at the actual event. So I'm very thankful that I'm much closer to that family. Also, plus the kids, they were technically staying at the Best Western, and I had a room all day with air conditioning that wasn't being used. So they brought their kids and they hung out in the room all day in the air conditioning, so the kids could sit there and play on their iPads and be fairly, very close to the parents, which is always a good. You don't want to leave your. It feels weird leaving your kids with a babysitter in a foreign country. So I'm thankful for that. Yeah, this villa, I'll have to get you guys some pictures, or they'll definitely be on YouTube. There was a pool there, an industrial sized kitchen. It was a very small, intimate event. I think there were only 10 rooms in the villa. So, the people that stayed there, we bonded early in the morning, we bonded late at night. It was very easy to get up early and just kind of hang out and work before everybody else from the event started showing up. So that kind of experiential event where you actually staying at the location and you're part of a VIP group, that was a very pleasurable experience. Okay, staying in the actual hotel. There, I've got some other comments on that, some constructive criticism, things like that. I'll save, but there are some other things I really want to cover before I hop off. I like to keep the show between 45 minutes and an hour. So, if you've been to Costa Rica, let me know in the comments. Either the live comments right now, we're going on about 9:41 U.S. Central, or if you watch the recorded version of this video, let me know what you think. Let me know of places that I should go. I'm probably going to go back to Tamarindo 2 or 3 more times, and then I'll start looking at maybe some other cities there. I don't have a date for going back to Tamarindo, but, next 6 months seems like something that something I'm going to aim for. I want to take back friends. I want to take back my family. Again, if you're looking for vacation spots, man, it's hard to beat one. The flights in and out of there were just so easy. Again, it felt more like a cross-country U.S. flight than it did a flight to a completely foreign country. It was just, that we've just made it that easy, if you will. Really quick before I totally get out of Pura Vida mode. We had a really good event, day 5 and I'm looking at my agenda here, day 5 and day 6. And of course, day 7, the travel home. Absolutely did not want to do that. I was not in the mood to come home. I had some friends that stayed longer and they found like a co-working place there. And that seemed like a really good idea. I want to do that in the future. But I have to, coordinate a little bit better with some meetings and stuff because I'm on Zoom a lot. I do my live streams, and just being away from that native environment and having my office and my other office, just being away from that makes it a little bit hard to do this whole live streaming thing. A couple other things on here is, let me see. Goodness gracious, it's been a while since I talked to you guys, so I had like a whole agenda here. My next show is probably going to be pretty AI heavy. I am starting to be one of those AI people, one of those obsessed people that are using AI for more and more and more. I was a late adopter of AI on purpose because I'm a nerd. And you know what? Nerds love to adopt technology early, find a bunch of ways to use it that the common man doesn't want to use, and then we start shoving it down everyone's throats. AI, you should use AI for this, you should use AI for that. And that's happened with so many trends in the world. That happened when social media first came out. We had social media networks come and go, and everyone always jumped on the brand new ones. So I was purposely a little hesitant to adopt AI, but I'm getting into it more and more and more. I have ChatGPT open up all the time now on my Mac. I actually adjusted Chrome, so ChatGPT is my default search engine now. Oh, Crystal, I'm sorry, I just saw this. Elizabeth showed up. Oh my goodness. So this is one of my new friends right here, Elizabeth Albrook. We hung out a lot. I gave her some lessons on some golf cart lessons, and we got to go to the beach and get some amazing pictures together. So Elizabeth is one of my, I didn't know. So you know what? I don't want to ostracize anybody. So I already knew you, Carrie. I already knew you. We were already kind of buds. But Elizabeth was a brand new buddy, and Adam was a brand new buddy. So Adam and Elizabeth are 2 of my new buddies out of Costa Rica. And hopefully I will see you guys in October at the high level event. Crystal, thanks for chiming in here. Let's see. My husband went on a trade mission to Costa Rica before COVID. He loved it and wants to go back too. Go with him, Crystal. Forget this my husband stuff. Go with him. That is an amazing, amazing place. like all things, it's hard to go when you have a job that requires a fixed location kind of thing. Um, but um, um, but yeah, please make sure, Krista, you find a way to go back with him for sure. Okay. But like I said, I'm going to be using. I've already using AI to generate TV commercials or YouTube commercials for clients, and I've got those deployed. I'm looking at the results of those. I've got I've got like I'm paying for Chat GPT now, so I've got like professional Chat GPTs I'm setting up, and I'm doing a lot in Chat GPT projects, and where Chat GPT remembers my previous prompts. So I'm training it all about playmakers in our different plans. Our approach, our accelerate, our ascension, our altitude plans. And what's nice about it is mainly, I think the main thing I love about AI right now, and I'm going to refer to strictly the text-based conversational AI because there's so many different ways to use it, is the fact that I can dump something out of my head into there and it remembers it for me. So if after this live stream, if someone gave me a really brilliant idea on the live stream right now, I could put that in Chat GPT, one of my personalized Chat GPTs, and it would remember it and incorporate it into my future marketing copy, if you will, and my future idea generation. So all day long, one of the reasons I have ChatGPT up all the time is I'm just constantly feeding that beast. Oh, I have this idea. Oh, I always wanted to do this. Oh, when I write my book, I want to do this. I want this chapter in my book. I can just kind of dump all of it in there, and it remembers it and feeds it back to me later when I query it. Now, I could just put all these notes in a notepad, if you will, but the notepad doesn't give me feedback on something or tell me how to improve it. That's one of the reasons I think I really like it right now. I'm going to be doing generating with some of my own commercials and probably video animations of myself in some of the other tools, probably HeyGen. I'm going to be using Hey Levi more from Ruhin and Canal, like I said, in my work. And let me see what other tools. Let's see. I had a whole series of tools here in AI that I'm basically using right now. Let's see what they are. Oh, Relevance AI is another tool I'm going to start using more and more and more. Gamma, if you haven't used it yet, I learned about Gamma from some people on the trip. Brilliant tool. Going to start using that more and more. So I've got all these. One of the main benefits of the trip is there was a lot of exposure for me to talk about um, AI and things like that. A lot of exposure to learn about AI, which I did, and I'm just going to start incorporating these tools. Let me see. What are we seeing? What did Elizabeth say here? Lots of love for you, and thank you for the passion you give to your community. Thank you, Elizabeth. It was great meeting you, and I sure as heck better see you. I sure as heck better see you in October, right? And what Carrie say here? Heck yeah, everyone needs to meet up in Texas in October. Yep, there's a very good chance I will be there. It's a 3-hour drive for me. Number one, number two, it's my people. And number three, I'm still working on my pre-event. To tell you the truth, I am in communication with the Hotel Anatolia, that's what it is right now, with their food and beverage department and their event department, seeing if I can get a room and we can do the event, a pre-event, the day before. So if you're a high-level user, either experienced or brand new, pay close attention to my social media, not strictly for self-promotional, but once I have my pre-event put on, it's a free pre-event, I'm getting a room for like 10 to 20 people. I'm going to do that again. We talk about, we do 4 hours of education, and we do have some offers there for people, but it's a free event. And all you need to do is to RSVP when that comes up. And I'll be talking about that in the high level group and on my own social media. Contrary to what the hotel replied back to me on, it is not a high level event. I'm going back and forth with the hotel, and they're like, well, if you're going to add a room and this date to the high level event, we need to get all this information. I'm like, no, I'm not associated with high level. Okay. This is a pre-event. Don't put it on their tab. I mean, hey, if you guys want to put on your tab, Sean Clark, if you want to pay for my pre-event, I will be all for it, but it's not associated with it. I just want to butt up against it. So that's what I'm working on for October. And lastly, I wanted to wrap up because I know Adam and Carrie are on here. I have something coming up that I like some feedback on for those of you who are outdoor enthusiasts like Adam. I know Adam is one for sure. I have the chance, thanks to Adam, to do a hike coming up. And just so you know, Adam is the boyfriend of Carrie Taft of Taft Systems, who I was recommending earlier. So Adam went there. We geeked out a lot of things, late 80s, early 90s rap lyrics, things like that. Oh, don't get me started on me using ChatGPT to write raps now. It's embarrassing. I'm pretty pathetic. But I think I'm a professional rapper now that I can get Chat GPT to write me, CRM raps in the style of Biggie or in the style of Tupac. I am the man now when it comes to generating fake rap lyrics, nerdy rap lyrics. I would have been a great member of the Lonely Island or Please Don't Destroy. I was always a fan of Weird Al Yankovic. Those the kind of parody, nerdy, geeky kind of raps. So Adam and his buddies are planning a hike on Mount Rainier in June or July, I believe. I believe it's July. And I'm curious for anybody who's done any like really severe hikes, if you've ever been up or down Rainier and what it was like. So I hear that we're not going through a lot of ice and snow. We're going to be going through some, but we're not going to be doing that thing where you have to scale rocks and put in your own anchors and rappel up and rappel down and stuff like that. It's just a long hike, and it's a very vertical hike from what I hear. And so I'm starting to investigate hiking on Mount Rainier because it sounds like something I would actually like to do. My trepidations are, number one, I still need to lose weight. Muscle tone is not a problem. Endurance is not a problem. I just think my endurance would be better if I shed about 20 or 30 pounds, which I'm always working on. The water is helping with that. Number two, I'm just kind of curious the kind of obstacles that I will encounter. I'm getting a lot of that great information from Adam, but this is one of those things now where I'm just gathering feedback about what it's going to take for me to mount to, excuse me. Yeah, there was a good joke there. Let's not go there. I'm gathering feedback about what it's going to take for me to hike up Mount Rainier. So far, I think I'm definitely leaning towards it. I'm like a 70% chance right now. One of the main reasons, well, there's several reasons, but one of the reasons it's looking appealing is I could actually combine that with a trip up to see Mom. My mom is just outside of Seattle, over on the other side of the Sound, in the Puget, in a city called Gig Harbor. It's actually not even Gig Harbor. It's a city outside of Gig Harbor called Purdy, I think, Purdy. That's where my mom is. So I could make it like a 2 or 3 week thing where I go up and go see my mom, then I go hike with Adam and the boys, or vice versa. But going up there is much more appealing to hiking than versus like me going into Iowa or hiking, or Minnesota and hiking kind of things. Because up in Washington, Oregon area, all up and down the West Coast, I've got friends and family. I kid you not, I've got friends and family from San Diego all the way up to Seattle. Starting in San Diego, going through LA, going through San Francisco, going inland. I've got friends in Oregon. I've got lots of friends in Portland. I've got friends on multiple sides of Seattle. So I'm very much a West Coast guy, born and raised West Coast guy. So there's lots of reasons for me to go. But I'm just kind of curious, what are some of the risks involved? What do I need to know? I know we have to get some permits here pretty soon. But I'm definitely leaning towards going because this is one of those things where I'm looking for, bigger and bigger challenges to make me a better person, make me physically a better person, make me, spiritually a better person, make me, mentally, all those things. I'm just looking for more adventure. That's what Costa Rica is for. That's for probably doing something this weekend that's going to be a little bit more adventurous. So I'm definitely leaning towards that. But I want some more experience. I want some resources from those of you who have done either Mount Rainier or other long, hard hikes like that as to what I can expect. I'm looking forward to the fact that we may do an overnight trip, which means I would have to bring up camping gear, which I'm all for also. I'm all for hiking, camping outdoors. I've got a good buddy here, Mateo, who I've done 2 or 3 night campings over his place. I have no problem with Mother Nature. I think it would be very great. And so that's what I probably have coming up in July when it comes to long-term planning. Costa Rica is definitely in my future. As a matter of fact, for my Costa Rican friends that are watching, I would even like us to plan like another group event that wasn't centralized around a formal learning event, if you will. So I would think it would be 45%. Crystal, Elizabeth, you better get to the gym, girlfriend. But Crystal, staying around for Elizabeth, you better get to the gym. 43% less oxygen at the summit than there is in Tamarindo. Well, that's, oh goodness gracious. I haven't been paying attention to my comments. There's Caitlin. There's Sister Caitlin right there too. Goodness gracious. So 43% less oxygen at the summit than there is in Tamarindo. Well, can I handle that? Am I in pretty good shape for that? I don't think I'd have a problem with that. I'd like to find a way to train on something like that. But yeah, if we could do, obviously I had a great time at this event, and thanks Caitlin again for putting on a great event. But it would be nice to like go back to the Best Western and have a week with nothing planned. Like we wake up every single day, we go down to the place. It was like 4 or 5 doors down. We have breakfast. We go do some exploring, maybe go do some horseback riding, or some other adventurous stuff in that area. But just, having that Best Western as the anchor was just a really good suggestion, Caitlin, and anybody else who brought that up. That was just a really nice location. It really was. Now, obviously, the villa was freaking amazing. But I would like to plan another trip in maybe 3 or 4 months, maybe 3 months, where we kind of back off from work a little bit, and we just kind of all go down there and relax and work from there. So there will be some work involved, but like an informal, very informal. Let's hang out by the pool. Let's have some drinks. Let's eat. Let's work, 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 work. Let's go to the beach. Let's work, 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 work. A much more relaxed thing. So almost like the same week, the same time frame, except for stay at the same location. Just because that's what I want to do. I want to do it. That's why I want to do it. It's because I want to. So I'm telling you what I want, what I really, really want. I'm telling you what I want, what I really, really want. I want to, I want to, I want to, I want to, tamarindo. That's what I want to do. So if you want to be part of that group, make sure you DM me on Facebook. I have no formal plans yet. Thanks, Adam, for the information on the oxygen. I got to figure out how I would handle something like that, or if that would have a big impact for me. Lung capacity wise and oxygenation wise, I think I'm in pretty good shape. I'm not a smoker. I don't have any major health issues that would keep me from, living with a lower oxygen level. But yeah, these are the kind of things I want to know is like I need to research. I need to go over to ChatGPT and says, how do I handle breathing if I have, 57% less oxygen, 43% less oxygen. How would I handle breathing if I have to handle 57% of my normal oxygen kind of level? So I don't know. It's something I'm working on, but you know what? It is the hour. All of us want to get back to work and get some things done. This is my second cup of coffee. I need to polish that off. And I know I've got some emails waiting for me here that have to be answered. Thank you for those of you that stuck around for the entire live stream. Thank you very much. I love the feedback. And hopefully my information about Costa Rica was useful for you future travelers. Please, if you haven't done so yet, please make sure if you're on YouTube, you subscribe and turn on notifications. There's like a little bell at the bottom of the videos here someplace. Subscribe and turn on notifications. That's some social currency that helps me out as I grow my YouTube channel. But if you watch this recording and you have some feedback, also make sure you leave a comment, and I reply to all my comments within like 24 to 48 hours. Outside of all that, my friends, I appreciate you watching. Have a great day. Let's see, since if I don't have the Stream Deck program properly, if I can shut this down properly. As always, like I said, make sure you subscribe and everything, and I will see you guys on a future show. Have a great day.